Once upon a time, in a peaceful village called Lomo, there lived a wise and powerful king named Zulu. King Zulu ruled over his people with kindness and fairness, and he was known throughout the land. He had one daughter, the beautiful princess Ama, who was loved by everyone in the kingdom. Princess Ama was not only beautiful but also kind-hearted. She cared deeply for her people and often walked through the village to listen to their trouble and help them where she could. One day during one of her walk, Ama came across a young man named Kwesi. Kwesi was a pine tapper, known for his skills in climbing the tall palm tree and gathering the sweet wine from the fruit. He was humble, hardworking, and always smiled warmly when he greeted people. Princess Ama was instantly drawn to him, not because of his work, but because of his gentle spirit. They began to talk, and soon Ama found herself visiting him often. Kwesi told her stories about the trees, and the winds and the song of the birds. She had never met anyone like him. As time passed, Ama realized she had fallen deeply in love with Kwesi. She knew he wasn't from a wealthy or noble family, but that didn't matter to her. His heart was pure, and she wanted nothing more than to marry him. Excited, she rushed to the palace to tell her father the news. But King Zulu did not share her happiness. Ama, you cannot marry a pine tapper, the king said firmly. You are a princess, and it will bring shame to our family if you marry someone so lowly. You must marry a prince or someone of high standing. Ama was heartbroken. She had never seen her father so angry. She tried to explain that it wasn't Kwesi's job that matters to her, but the person he was inside. But the king refused to listen. He had already planned for her to marry a wealthy prince from a neighboring kingdom, someone who would bring honor and strength to her royal line. For days, Ama was filled with sadness. She could not bear the thought of marrying someone she did not love. She continued to visit Kwesi, but their meetings were filled with sorrow. Kwesi loved Ama too, but he knew it was dangerous to continue seeing her if the king did not approve. One day, as Ama sat by the river crying, an old woman appeared. The woman, who was known to have a great wisdom, sat beside the princess and asked her why she was so sad. Ama told her the whole story. The old woman listened carefully and then said, "My dear, true love is more powerful than any riches or titles. But sometimes you must prove its strength." The old woman gave Ama a small seed and told her, "Plant this in your father's garden. It will show him the truth." Ama took the seed and did as the old woman said, planting it in her father's royal garden that very night. The next morning, a strange tree had grown where she planted the seed. Its branch stretches tall, and from it golden fruit hung like stars. When King Zulu saw the tree, he was amazed. "What kind of tree is this?" he asked. Ama told him she had planted the seed, but the tree did just grow fruit, but also began to sing a beautiful melody, a song of love and unity. As the king listened, his heart began to soften. However, the king was still not fully convinced. He decided to test Kwesi. He called for Kwesi to come to the palace. "I have heard you are skilled at tapping panwa," the king said. "If you can tap panwa from the tallest tree in the kingdom and bring it to me without spilling a drop, I will allow you to marry my daughter. But if you fail, you must leave this village forever." Kwesi knew this was no easy task. The tallest tree in the kingdom was known to be nearly impossible to climb, but he loved Ama so much that he agreed to the challenge. The next day, the entire village gathered to watch Kwesi attempt the impossible. He climbed the tree with grace and strength. His heart steady even as the wind whipped around him. Higher and higher he went until he reached the very top. He tapped the tree carefully, and when the panwa fell, he filled his god. With slow, careful step, Kwesi descended the tree. The crowd held its breath as he made his way down. The gorge of one balanced perfectly in his hand. When his feet touched the ground, not a single drop had spilled. The king could not believe his eyes. He had tried to find a way to break Kwesi's spirit, but instead, Kwesi had shown him great courage, skills, and love. At that moment, King Zulu realized that Kwesi was no ordinary panwa tapper. He was a man worthy of his daughter's love. With a heavy but humble heart, the king finally said, "You have proven your worth, Kwesi. I give you my blessing to marry my daughter." The crowd erupted in cheers, and Ama rushed into Kwesi's hand. The two were married in a grand ceremony, and the golden fruit tree in the royal garden stood as a symbol of their love. The king, having learned the true value of love over stature, became even more beloved by his people. And Kwesi, though still a panwa tapper, became known as the prince of the people. For he has shown everyone that it is not where you come from, but who you are that truly matter. And so, Princess Ama and Kwesi live happily ever after. Their love a shining example for all the land.